My friend, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a big dream in your heart, but you found yourself doing nothing about it? You wanted to start, but something inside you stopped you. Maybe you wanted to exercise every day, but you stayed in bed. Maybe you wanted to study English, but you scrolled on your phone instead. Maybe you wanted to save money, but you spent it the next day. You wanted the goal, but you did not move. Does this sound familiar? If yes, then today's lesson is exactly for you. Because here is the truth. The biggest enemy of your goals is not other people. It is not the world. It is not bad luck. The biggest enemy is inside you. It is your own excuses. It is your own laziness. It is your own comfort zone. If you want to achieve anything in life, you must learn the most powerful skill of all. You must learn to force yourself to act, even when you do not feel like it. That is the secret of winners. Champions are not special people born with endless motivation. They are not always excited. They are not always confident. They are not always in the mood. No, champions are human just like you. They get tired. They get bored. They get lazy. But the difference is this. They have learned how to push themselves to move forward, no matter what. They have trained their mind to obey, even when their body wants to quit. This video is going to teach you how to build that power. We will go deep into the mindset, the habits, and the daily practices that will turn you into a person who takes action, not just someone who dreams. Stay with me until the end, because if you truly listen, and if you apply what I share, your life will never be the same again. The first truth: motivation will fail you. Most people make a big mistake when they start working on a goal. They wait for motivation. They say to themselves, I will start when I feel ready. I will begin when I feel excited. But let me tell you a powerful truth. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never start. That is because motivation is like the weather. Sometimes the sun is shining. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes there is a storm. You cannot control the weather, and you cannot control motivation. If you depend on it, your life will also be like the weather. Unstable, unpredictable, and weak. Think about your own life. Have you ever said, I will start tomorrow? Tomorrow came, and you said it again. Then the next day, you said it once more. Days, weeks, or even months passed, but you never started. Why? Because you were waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect energy. But the truth is, that perfect moment will never come. Motivation is a guest that comes and goes whenever it wants. If you live your life waiting for it, you will spend most of your time doing nothing. Motivation feels good when it's there. It feels like energy running through your body. It feels like you can do anything. But here's the problem. It is not reliable. It disappears quickly. One day you wake up early, ready to work hard. The next day you wake up tired, and motivation is nowhere to be found. That is why successful people do not depend on motivation. They know that motivation is weak. They know it is temporary. Instead, they rely on something much stronger: discipline. Discipline is the opposite of waiting. Discipline means you do it whether you feel like it or not. Discipline means you wake up and move even when your bed is warm and soft. Discipline means you sit down to study even when your brain says, let's scroll YouTube, or let's check Instagram. Discipline means you go for a run even when your legs feel heavy and your body feels tired. Motivation may give you the first step, but discipline will carry you to the finish line. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. A spark burns out quickly. An engine keeps going for miles and miles. This is why many people quit after 1 week. At the beginning, they are excited. They start a new plan to lose weight, study English, or save money. But after 7 days, the spark of motivation disappears. Suddenly, the work feels boring. Suddenly, they do not feel like doing it. And because they only relied on motivation, they stop. That is why their goals remain unfulfilled. But if you build discipline, you will continue even after the excitement fades. You will keep moving forward when others quit. That is the real difference between winners and dreamers. So remember this first truth. Motivation will fail you. If you depend on it, you will fail too. But if you build discipline, you will never have to worry about motivation again. Because discipline means action is not a choice. It is who you are. And once you become that person, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. The secret weapon, the push of action. Now let me give you the key, my friend. The secret to forcing yourself to achieve any goal is simple, but it is not easy. The secret is this: act first, feel later. Did you hear that? Let me say it again, because it is powerful. Act first, feel later. Most people make the mistake of waiting for the right feeling before they move. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel energetic. They wait to feel ready. But the truth is, those feelings rarely come on their own. If you sit and wait, you will sit forever. That is why successful people do the opposite. They understand that feelings are followers, not leaders. They know that action comes first and feelings come second. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I don't feel like exercising," but once you put on your shoes and started walking or running, suddenly you felt better? At first you were tired. At first you were lazy. But once you pushed yourself to take that first step, your body and mind began to wake up. Energy started to flow. Your mood improved. You felt focused. What happened? Simple. You acted first, and the feeling followed. Your brain is very good at creating excuses. It will tell you, "I'm tired. I'm bored. Let's do it tomorrow. One more video, one more snack, one more nap." If you listen to that voice, you will lose. But here's the good news. You don't have to fight the whole battle at once. You only need to win the first 5 minutes. All you need to do is take one small action. Open the book. Write the first line. Do one push-up. Start the first step. That one small push changes everything. It breaks the chain of excuses. It breaks the control of laziness. This is how successful people trick their brain. They don't wait for the perfect mood. They don't wait to feel ready. They know readiness is a lie. Instead, they move first. They take action. And after they move, the feeling comes. They have discovered the secret weapon, the push of action. Think of it like lighting a fire. At first, it is difficult. The wood is cold. The flame is small. But if you give it one spark, one push, it begins to grow. Soon the fire burns strong, and it gives you light and warmth. Action is the spark that starts the fire inside you. Without that spark, nothing will happen. With it, everything becomes possible. So remember this forever. Feelings follow actions, not the other way around. Don't wait for the mood. Don't wait for the energy. Don't wait for the right time. Create the feeling by moving your body and taking the first step. Your brain will resist, but you are stronger. Push yourself to act, and soon you will feel the focus, the energy, and the confidence you need to keep going. That is the secret weapon that will carry you to your goals. Not waiting, not wishing, not daydreaming. Action. Small, powerful, unstoppable action. Why forcing yourself is freedom. Maybe the word force sounds negative to you. When you hear it, you may imagine punishment. You may think of someone pushing you against your will. You may say to yourself, "Why should I force myself? Shouldn't life be easy and natural? Shouldn't I just follow my feelings?" But listen carefully. Forcing yourself is not punishment. Forcing yourself is freedom. Think about it deeply. If you never force yourself, then who is the master of your life? It will not be you. It will be your mood. It will be your laziness. It will be your fears. It will be your comfort zone. And if those things control you, then you are not free. You are a slave. A slave to weakness. A slave to excuses. A slave to temporary feelings. That is not freedom. That is a prison. And sadly, many people live their whole lives inside it. True freedom begins the moment you take back control. When you force yourself to get out of bed, even when you feel tired, you are telling your body, "I am the master, not you." When you force yourself to study, even when your mind wants to play games, you are declaring, "I decide my future, not my distractions." When you force yourself to take action, even when fear whispers in your ear, you are proving, "I choose courage, not fear." That is real freedom. The freedom to live by choice, not by chance. Forcing yourself is like training a muscle. At first, it feels heavy. It feels uncomfortable. You may struggle. You may even want to quit. But the more you push, the stronger you become. Soon, what was once impossible becomes normal. What was once difficult becomes easy. The discipline you build by forcing yourself today will become your natural strength tomorrow. This is how you grow. This is how you transform. Think about any great person in history. Athletes, leaders, artists, or inventors. Do you think they always felt like working? Do you think they always had motivation? Number. They force themselves. They push through the moments of weakness. They chose discipline over comfort. And because of that, they achieved greatness. Now imagine your own life if you never forced yourself. You would stay in bed when you felt lazy. You would avoid challenges when you felt fear. You would waste hours when you felt bored. Day after day, year after year, nothing would change. You would still dream, but your dreams would never come true. That is not freedom. That is regret. But if you learn to force yourself, everything changes. You rise above your moods. You rise above your fears. You rise above your excuses. You are no longer a prisoner of weakness. You are the commander of your own life. And that is the highest form of freedom, the ability to choose your actions no matter how you feel. So remember this truth. Forcing yourself is not about pain. It is about power. It is not about suffering. It is about strength. Every time you push yourself, you are building freedom, the freedom to live life on your own terms. And that is the kind of freedom worth fighting for every single day. The 5-second rule. One of the most powerful tools you can use to take control of your actions is something called the 5-second rule. At first, it may sound too simple, but do not let that fool you. This little rule can change the direction of your life if you practice it daily. The rule works like this. The very moment you feel resistance, the very moment your brain whispers, "I don't want to do it," you begin to count down in your mind. You say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and immediately you move. You stand up, you open the book, you tie your shoes, you start running, you begin the task. The secret is to move before your brain has time to build excuses. Why does this rule work so well? Because most dreams do not die after months or years. They die in the first 5 seconds. Think about it. You wake up and your alarm rings. In the first 5 seconds, your brain decides, should I get up or press snooze? You sit at your desk and see your notebook. In the first 5 seconds, your brain decides, should I start studying or open social media? These small decisions look unimportant, but they shape your destiny. In those short moments, excuses enter, fear enters, doubt enters. But if you move before they arrive, you win. That is why the 5-second rule is like a shield. It protects you from the trap of hesitation. Let's look at an example. Imagine you want to start exercising. You come home from work and you feel tired. Your brain says, maybe tomorrow. You deserve to rest. Just watch TV. If you listen, you will stay on the couch. But if you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then immediately stand up, put on your workout clothes and step outside, you have broken the chain. Once you begin moving, energy starts to flow. Suddenly, the workout does not feel impossible anymore. You may even feel proud of yourself for pushing through. That is the magic of this simple rule. The 5-second rule works because it gives your brain no time to negotiate. When you count down, you interrupt your normal thought pattern. Instead of thinking too much, you take action. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Remember, it is not the big moments that define your success. It is the small daily choices you make in those first 5 seconds of decision. Think of this rule as a sword in your hand. Every time laziness, fear, or hesitation tries to attack, you swing the sword with a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with one move, you cut through doubt. You step forward, you build strength. The more you use it, the stronger you become. So the next time you feel stuck, the next time your brain tells you not now or later, do not listen. Instead, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Do it immediately. Do it without thinking. Use this rule again and again until it becomes your natural response. If you do, you will surprise yourself with how much you can achieve. Sometimes, all it takes to change your life is 5 simple seconds of courage. Building habits that stick. Now let's talk about something very important. Habits. Forcing yourself once is good. Forcing yourself twice is better. But if you truly want to achieve big goals, you must learn how to force yourself every single day until it becomes automatic. That is where habits come in. Habits are powerful because they remove the need to decide every time. When something becomes a habit, you no longer think, you just do. That is why building strong habits is the foundation of success. Here is the truth. Your life today is the result of your habits. Look at your daily actions, and you will see your future. If you have the habit of wasting time, you will live with regret. If you have the habit of learning every day, you will grow powerful. If you have the habit of saving money, you will build financial freedom. If you have the habit of exercising, you will build health and strength. Good habits push you forward. Bad habits hold you back. The great news is this: habits are not fixed. You can create new ones, and you can break old ones. That means your future can change starting today. So how do you build habits that last? The answer is simple. Through small, consistent actions. Do not try to change everything in one day. That is the mistake most people make. They start big, but they burn out quickly. For example, someone who has never exercised suddenly tries to run 5 miles on the first day. They fail, they feel pain, and they quit. Instead, start small. Want to exercise? Begin with just 10 push-ups. Want to read more? Begin with 5 minutes a day. Want to save money? Start with just $1. It may seem too small, but the power is not in the size. The power is in the consistency. When you do something daily, even for a short time, it becomes normal. It becomes part of your identity. At first, you have to push yourself. You need discipline. But after weeks and months, it becomes automatic. It no longer feels like a fight. It feels like who you are. That is the secret of habits. They turn discipline into identity. Once you see yourself as a person who studies every day or a person who exercises daily, it becomes natural. And soon, your small actions grow into big achievements. Remember this important truth. Success is not one big step. Success is thousands of small steps, taken every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Most people wait for one magical day when everything will change at once. But real transformation is not sudden. It is slow, steady, and built on habits. The small choices you make each day shape the life you will live tomorrow. So ask yourself, what habits am I building today? Are they leading me to regret, or are they leading me to growth? Start small. Stay consistent. And before you know it, you will look back and realize that your habits have built a new, stronger, and more successful version of you. The pain of regret versus the pain of discipline. Let me share something powerful with you. Life always gives you pain. There is no way to escape it. But here is the secret. You get to choose which kind of pain you will carry. You can choose the pain of discipline, or you can choose the pain of regret. One pain is temporary. The other pain can last forever. The pain of discipline is the effort you feel when you push yourself to do what is necessary, even when you do not feel like it. Waking up early is painful. Getting out of a warm bed when you want to sleep more is not easy. Studying when your mind wants to relax feels heavy. Going to the gym when your body feels tired is difficult. Working hard, staying focused, and saying no to distractions is painful in the moment. But here's the good news. This pain does not last forever. The pain of discipline is temporary. It is short, and it always leads to growth. When you choose discipline, you might suffer for minutes, hours, or days, but that suffering builds your future. Every time you push through, you become stronger. Every time you act with discipline, you gain self-respect. You start to look at yourself with pride. You see progress. You feel momentum. And suddenly, the pain turns into joy. The struggle turns into confidence. The sacrifice turns into achievement. That is the reward of discipline. Now let's talk about the other side, the pain of regret. This pain does not come today. It comes later. It arrives when you look back at your life and realize you wasted your chances. You realize you had goals, but you never acted. You had dreams, but you never forced yourself to chase them. Regret shows up when it's too late to change. And this pain is not small. It is heavy. It sits inside your heart and does not leave. It whispers, "You could have done more. You could have been more." That voice is painful, and it never goes away easily. The pain of regret is worse than the pain of discipline because you cannot undo it. You can always wake up tomorrow and try again if you choose discipline. But with regret, the opportunity is already gone. Time does not return. Missed chances do not come back. You cannot go back to your younger self and say, "Work harder, try again." That is why regret is a prison. It locks you in a life of what if and I should have. So which pain will you choose? You cannot avoid both. You will either feel the sharp but short pain of discipline today, or the deep and lasting pain of regret tomorrow. Wise people choose discipline, because discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Discipline is the path to pride, success, and respect. Regret is the path to sadness, disappointment, and self-hate. The choice is always in your hands. Every morning, every decision, you are choosing your pain. Do you want the pain that makes you stronger, or the pain that breaks you down? Remember this: discipline may hurt now, but regret hurts forever. Choose wisely. Choose discipline. How to stay consistent. When you want to quit. Now you may ask yourself, what if I start, but then I lose energy? What if I feel like quitting? My friend, that is normal. Every human being feels this way. Even the strongest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the greatest leaders have days when they want to give up. You are not weak because you feel like quitting. You are human. The difference between success and failure is not about who never feels like quitting. It is about who keeps going even when quitting feels easier. The solution is simple, but powerful. Focus on progress, not perfection. Many people give up because they demand perfection from themselves. They believe every workout must be perfect. Every study session must be long. Every effort must be full of energy. But life does not work like that. Some days you will be strong. Other days you will be tired. That is okay. The key is not perfection. It is consistency. Consistency means showing up no matter how small the effort. Even if you study for 10 minutes, it is better than nothing. Even if you run for only 5 minutes, it is better than staying on the couch. Even if you write 1 page, it is better than writing nothing at all. Small steps may feel weak in the moment, but when you add them together over weeks and months, they become unstoppable. A small step every day is more powerful than a big step once a month. Think about it this way. Imagine a bucket under a dripping tap. 1 drop of water looks like nothing. But after hours, the bucket fills. After days, it overflows. That is the power of consistency. Your daily actions are drops of water. On their own, they may look small, but over time they create a flood of progress. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things, through consistent drops of effort. Another way to stay consistent is to remind yourself why you started. When you feel weak, when your energy is gone, go back to the beginning. Ask yourself, why did I start this journey? What was my dream? What was my reason? That reason is your fuel. Without fuel, even the strongest car cannot run. Your reason is the fire that will keep you moving when your body feels tired. Here is a simple technique. Write your goal on paper. Do not just think about it. Write it down. Put it on your wall, your desk, or your mirror. Look at it every day. When you feel like quitting, read it again. Let it remind you of your vision. Let it wake up the fire inside you. You will feel stronger, and you will remember that quitting will only take you back to regret, while pushing forward will take you closer to your dream. So, when you feel like giving up, do not look at how far you still have to go. Look at how far you have already come. Take 1 more step, and then another. Because success is not about never wanting to quit. Success is about never actually quitting. Stay consistent, even in small ways, and you will become unstoppable. The reward of forcing yourself. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you made a simple decision. For 1 year, no matter what, you will force yourself to take action every single day. Not once in a while. Not only when you feel motivated, but every day. You force yourself to study English for at least 20 minutes. You force yourself to exercise, even when you feel lazy. You force yourself to take steps toward your dream, even when the progress seems small. Now stop and think. Where would you be after 1 year? The answer is powerful. You would not even recognize yourself. Your life would be completely different. You would look back and wonder, was that really me 1 year ago? The person who always postponed, who always doubted, who always waited to feel ready. The reward of forcing yourself is transformation. It is not about pain. It is not about punishment. It is about unlocking a stronger, smarter, and more successful version of yourself. Every time you push through resistance, you take a step closer to that future. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, but I will do it anyway, you win a small battle against weakness. And these small victories add up. They shape your character. They build your discipline. They create a version of you that other people admire and respect. But most importantly, they create a version of you that you respect. Because deep down, nothing feels better than being proud of yourself. Think about the reward in practical terms. If you force yourself to study English every day, your skills will grow faster than you imagine. You will understand more words, speak more confidently, and express yourself with freedom. If you force yourself to exercise every day, your body will change. You will feel stronger, healthier, and more alive. If you force yourself to save money, work harder, or learn new skills, your opportunities will multiply. In 1 year, you will stand in a place that most people only dream about. But you will stand there because you forced yourself to keep moving. Forcing yourself is not about living a life of suffering. It is about building a life of freedom. Freedom from laziness. Freedom from weakness. Freedom from regret. When you practice self-force, you take control away from your excuses and give it back to your true self, the self that wants to grow, succeed, and achieve. That is why forcing yourself is not the enemy. It is the best gift you can give yourself. The reward is not only external success, but also internal strength. You begin to believe in yourself. You stop doubting your ability to follow through. You gain confidence because you see the proof. You did what you said you would do. That confidence cannot be bought. It cannot be faked. It must be earned through action. So remember this. Every time you force yourself, you are not hurting yourself. You are shaping yourself. You are designing a future that is brighter than your present. The pain of the push is temporary, but the reward is permanent. Push yourself today, and your future self will thank you. Final words. You are stronger than you think. My dear friend, let me remind you of something important. You have no idea how powerful you truly are. You may think you are weak. You may think you are lazy. You may even believe that discipline is something only special people have. But that is not true. The only reason you feel weak is because you have not yet trained your discipline. Inside you, there is a warrior. Inside you, there is a champion. Deep inside your heart, there is a version of you that is stronger, braver, and more determined than you can imagine. You just need to wake it up. And how do you wake it up? The answer is simple, though not always easy. You wake it up by forcing yourself. Not once, not twice, but every single day. When the alarm rings in the morning, You force yourself to rise, even when your bed feels comfortable. When your brain whispers, "I'll do it tomorrow," you force yourself to do it today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. When your body says, "I'm tired," you force yourself to start anyway. That simple act of pushing yourself against resistance is the key that unlocks your true strength. Here on English Achieve, I remind you again and again that growth does not come from waiting for motivation. Growth comes from action. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is forever. Every time you force yourself to move forward, you build a stronger mind. Every time you say yes to discipline and no to excuses, you rise higher than the day before. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. This is how you will become the person you were always meant to be. One day, you will look back at your journey and smile. You will thank yourself for not giving up. You will realize that the strongest version of you was born the moment you decided to stop waiting for the perfect time, and you started forcing yourself into action. That moment will change your life forever. Because freedom, success, and happiness belong only to those who learn to control themselves. So do not wait. Do not delay. From this moment, make the decision. I will force myself to achieve my goals. I will not let laziness or fear control my life. Nothing will stop me. And when you live with this mindset, the world will open its doors to you.